Hello Exiles, and I bring you today a absolute metric ton of information which we have never seen before, and I am so happy to reveal this to you. There is a ton of information that I'm going to be talking to you about here, from everything from jewels to the return of the backpack to the return of tutorials. I'm going to show you some Atlas keys that we've not seen, some from the skill tree, from the Atlas tree. I've seen some points from Special Ascendancy, so I've seen some more points of the Titan Ascendancy, the Witchhunter Ascendancy. I've seen skills that obviously that can be modified. I've seen corruption modifiers. I've had some news on Expedition. Yeah, there is an absolute ton. I've got some boss footage. I've got some new uniques to show you. So yeah, strap in tight because this is going to be a juicy one. Now, if you are not subscribed, guys, I would kindly ask you to subscribe. I am trying to push my page as much as possible, okay? And I want to try and get it as high as I can, and I want to be in the top, at least in the top 10 to 15 Path of Exile content creators over the next couple of years, and I can only do that with your help. So I would very much appreciate it if you can throw us a subscribe, hit that bell, throw us a like, throw us a comment, whatever it may be, and try and help me, because I am trying my absolute best here to provide content to you. So at least help me back, okay? So let's jump into the content, because I cannot wait to go through this with you. I don't even know where to start. There's that much to delve into. So the first thing I'm going to go through is the fact that there was everything that I'm going to discuss with yourself today has come from a press release video that was released the other day on YouTube. I will put the video to this in the description below, but that video is nearly an hour and a half long. I have pretty much condensed it into this video, and I have watched it and extracted all the information which I'm going to run through with you now. So the first thing that obviously I want to run through is that Jonathan shows in the video that you are able to re-roll the radius jewels that you can get from running the Sanctum trials, or the lab/trials. He shows you a jewel, but then he then shows that you could potentially roll it, so you can re-roll the radius if you're not happy with it for any reason. Now that is massive, because if you pick up a jewel that's small radius and you want to extend it to large radius, then that is absolutely massive, because then that will increase all of the modifiers on your skill tree to encompass everything that you want to increase your damage from your skill tree. Now that to me is humongous. Okay, the fact that you can roll the radius, we have not really been able to do that other than with a Thread of Hope, and even with the Thread of Hope it is very expensive to try and re-roll it, because it is a unique. With this item being a magic item, it's going to be very, very cheap to re-roll it. So I could foresee that there is going to be a ton of damage that is going to be hidden behind these types of jewels, and I can probably imagine that people are going to want to run multiple of these jewels in certain areas where there may be clusters of points that you can enhance by putting one of these jewels in there. Now the next thing I wanted to discuss is that Jonathan does go on to describe that in the skill screen there is now going to be an onboard tutorial that is going to show you how every single skill interacts, how it looks, and obviously we'll have you a bit of a brief demonstration. And as you can see on screen right there, it says select skill, and it will then show you a little replay below how it looks and how it interacts, which is something that we have never been able to see in Path of Exile 1. We've manually had to insert the gem into our sockets, and then from there we can then see what it does. That is a nice little tooltip which I think is going to massively help new players, and even players that obviously are new to Path of Exile 2 that have had no idea of any of these skills. They haven't seen any of the spoilers and they haven't seen any of the footage, and they want to know what the skills do. This will be a nice little tutorial that'll show you how that works. The next thing I wanted to show is that we have this little screenshot here of when he ran over one of the points on the new Atlas skill tree, which, as you can see here, we now have a different biome option for drops. So if you can see there, swamp and water drop more basic currency, mountain will drop more gold, forest will drop jewels, desert will drop, I think that's barayas and inscribed ultimatums, and grass biomes will drop socket currency. This, I feel, is something that you are going to want to try and pick up pretty soon, because you are want to try and get this bonus of the 40%, so you can then start inherently getting more drops. Now, I have an absolute mass load of nodes from the Atlas tree here, which we're going to screen through. Now, the first one I've got here is from the main Atlas tree, so the one that's in the middle. This has 4% increased Waystone modifier effect. That is obviously on the purple effect. So this is similar to the current one that we have, where we have increased modifiers. Well, this is basically exactly the same, but it's connected to your Waystones. This is obviously on these two nodes. I'm not too sure what are the ones on the far left. Next one that I have here is on the Remnants of Power, which again is on your main skill tree, which is 20% chance for double effects of precursor tablets on your maps. Next one is on the actual one at the top, which is 25% increased quantity of items dropped by map bosses. I have a feeling that this may be connected to your map boss runs, not too sure. Then on the main Atlas tree again here, I have imprisoned monsters in your maps have 25% chance to have 3 additional essences. That is very similar to the one that we have now for essences. We have this on the Delirium, which has Delirium Fog, has double difficulty scaling from your distance from the mirror and double simulacrum splinters. That is right at the top, so it's going to cost you quite a few points to get up there, but it's going to be worth it. The next one is also on the Delirium side is the Waystones found in your maps have random instilled emotions, which as we know adds Delirium to your maps. The next one is the Crux of Nothing on the Ritual, and it has +1 to the level of Crux of Nothing. Crux of Nothing, by the way, is the pinnacle boss fight for Ritual, and that is the King of the Mists. The next one after that is back to Ritual again, is monsters sacrificed at Ritual altars have grant 5% increased tribute. I am not too sure what that DNT stands for at the top. Not too sure. Next one is also from Ritual, and it says the rituals in your maps contain 2 additional packs of wildwood monsters. That potentially means that you might get a bit of wisp element in there. Further on, we then are keeping Extreme Archaeology, thank God, because I absolutely love that node. That is where you have 1 bomb in Expedition to blow everything up, and there is a ton more stuff in there. We have Deadly Evolution, which is rare and unique monsters have 1 to 2 additional modifiers. Now this is on your main skill tree. And next one is on the main skill tree too, is 20% increased quantity of Waystones found in your maps. So you'll get more and more of them dropping. And the final one that I have for you is 20% increased magic monsters in your maps. So here is just a few little teasers of the type of notifications and type of Waystone points that we're going to be having on the Atlas tree. And I cannot wait to be able to read the full tree, but there is a few little tidbits and teasers there to kind of keep you going. Now the next thing we're going to run through is we're going to run through some new nodes which have been seen for the Witchhunter Ascendancy. First one here is No Mercy. Deal up to 30% more damage to enemies based on their missing concentration. Next one is Damage. This is on a small notable. Increased damage with hits against enemies that are on low life. This is on one of the small notables. Next one is Culling Strike, which is just, that's literally it, just Culling Strike on the one of the first big points that you're going to take on the Ascendancies. Next one is 6% increased cooldown recovery rate. That is on one of the smaller ones. So as you can see here, this Ascendancy is going to be doing a lot of damage. Next one is the one that we saw in the reveal, which is the maximum concentration equal to 40% of their maximum life, and you break them if you obviously deal enough damage of 100% damage dealt. And obviously they obviously have concentration when not, they regain concentration when not losing concentration. But I have a feeling that this class, Witchhunter, is going to be an absolutely insane class. It's going to do an absolute ton of damage. You're going to be doing damage with Culling Strike. You're going to be doing increased damage when enemies are on low life. You're going to break their concentration. You're going to stop them from doing skills. Then you're going to do Jury, the one that we saw the other day, which was the Executioner, where we do 30%, potentially up to 30% of their maximum life on the first hit. So they're already down to 70%, then you'll be doing a ton of damage. Then as soon as they get below 50%, you'll be doing 35% more damage, and then when they get to 10%, you'll cull them. So this Ascendancy sounds absolutely ridiculously busted, but I am loving every second of it. Now, you're probably thinking, have you got any more? Well, yes, I have. He did then go through the Titan Ascendancy, and I have a few little screenshots that I'm going to show you here of where he then briefly hovered over the Titan Ascendancy, and we managed to get a glimpse of some of them. And one of them is going to be absolutely busted and is going to make people want to play just Titan just for the fact of getting this 1 point. So the first one we have is Stun Builder, which is just on the small points, not that big, but as this whole build revolves around stuns and aggravating and slams. That's good. Increased stun build-up. Next one, every second slam skill you use is ancestrally boosted. Now I have a feeling that that is going to be a good one to take, and it's going to help you boost your slams. Next one is increased slam area of effect. That is on one of the small ones. Again, that is also very big, but again, it's not as big as the ones that are coming. The next three. Armor from your equipped body armor is doubled. Now this is potentially a node that is already used on the Juggernaut tree, but it's been tweaked slightly. The next one is massive, and that is the 20% more maximum life. 20% is pretty big. The fact that there is no life on the PoE2 skill tree, I would say that that is a big deal. Now the last one, I don't think you're ready for. I did tease it on my thumbnail, but it is, of course, the backpack. Equip a chest which has 20 inventory slots. That potentially means that we are getting the backpack back in some form. Now, for anyone who doesn't remember or didn't play, in Affliction League, one of the ascendancies that we could have would provide you with a backpack similar to this on screen right now. I still have a character in Standard League that still has the backpack because I put 2 items in there. However, I cannot put 8 items in the backpack, and I cannot remove. And I feel that if I remove those 2 scrolls, the backpack will then disappear, and I wanted to keep it there just as a bit of a memorabilia for the Affliction League. However, the fact that we are getting the backpack back does fill me with a bit of joy, and it does make me look forward to playing that class, because then I know that I am going to have some extra slots to be able to carry some items. And anyone else who played with the backpack, it was an absolute godsend. You didn't want to get rid of that backpack at the end of the league. I was like, there was that many memes on Reddit about it that they were like, you can remove the backpack and pry it from my cold dead hands, because everybody loved it, everybody wanted it to stay. And even Mark Roberts said that he had a bit of a trouble trying to get it past Chris, because Chris didn't want to add it. He didn't want to include it in the game. The fact that he has then managed to squeeze it past and get it into Path of Exile 2 is absolutely amazing. So thank you, Mark, Jonathan, Chris, whoever decided on that one. I fully wholesome cannot wait to have the backpack back. And the next piece of news is the fact that, if you can see on here, Summon Infernal Hound, which is an option that you can get from the Infernalist Ascendancy, is now classed as an actual item that you can actually now socket gems into. Now, this opens up many build possibilities, because then that means that you can now juice the Hound to obscene levels. It then makes me think, can you then juice the demon form, which is all the ascendancy? So basically this now opens up every single ascendancy skill that you now can obtain can now be amended or edited by you adding skill gems. Now that means that the demon form, you might be able to put in there life leech or increased damage or increased crit damage or whatever the hell it may be, either whether you want to go survivability or whether you just want to go pure raw damage. It's entirely up to you. There's also the Unbound Avatar Monk. I'm wondering whether you'll be able to edit that in some way by editing, maybe adding in there some elemental damage or maybe some elemental focus, because it's all about elements. The stop time from the Chronomancer, could you be able to edit that? If so, could you put it on a trigger effect so that it triggers when something actually happens? Whether it be you cast an ignite, or you cast a stun, or you cast a freeze, or cast a shock, and it freezes time, then it then gives you more time to kill the monsters. There is multiple different things that you could do here, but the fact that we now have triggerable and editable ascendancy skills is absolutely massive, and the fact that GGG have now added that into the game opens up a whole realm of new build ideas. The next piece of news is the new corruption ways. Now, in the actual video, he actually corrupts an item. Now, if you look at this for a second, the actual corruption is now in red, which is not as was shown in the live stream, but this is the new modification, I believe. Now, he does go on to Vaal a few more items, but the main one that I want to focus on is watch the piece of armor here. He Vaals it and the text goes red instantly. But look at the mod. 25% increased armor and evasion. That is not a mod that we would typically get. And I went back through the mod pool to try and find out, because that mod actually looked familiar. And I started to think, where have I seen that before? And there's only one place that I had seen it before, and that was in Scourge League, when you could crangle your items. Now, if you look at the axe that we had earlier, it had added fire damage on it, which is what the Scourge thing would do, the Scourge mechanic. And the reduced armor evasion and an energy shield there, well, it's literally just exactly the same mod, but it's increased. And I feel that they have now gone down the route of taking some of the modifiers from Scourge League and applying it into the Vaal mod pool now to make them a little bit more juicy, but make them a lot bigger in terms of the amount of outcomes that you can now have by Vaaling your items. This is absolutely crazy. And the next piece of news is we have Rog crafting back. As you can see on screen here, it does show that Rog is available with the brand new bases, and he does go on to go and craft them. Look, remove all prefixes. Nah, are we going to skip that? Or are we going to upgrade it? We got attack speed and life. I would keep that. I would upgrade them. Well, I wouldn't remove it though, so I would skip that. Reroll the prefixes. Yeah, go on. I'm going to have to now. Strength, reroll them. Attack damage, fizz and strength. Yeah, go on then. Oh, we got strength and cold resist. And what are we going to do now? We're going to roll again, remove a single modifier, remove the mana, and we'll take it. This is good. This is a win, guys, because Rog, as we know, Rog is Pog. So having Rog in the new game is going to be absolutely awesome because of the new crafting and the new bases and the new modifiers. It's going to be a good way to get some nice items early on. And the next one is that he actually dropped a little bit of a teaser here, and I think we are going to be getting Tainted currency back in Path of Exile 2. Now, as you can see here, he was in the middle of clearing a ritual. However, once he has cleared the ritual site, the name pops up, and if you look at it and zoom in, enhance, Tainted Ritual Altar. Now, what he does then later go on to say is that this map was in an area of corruption which is covered by Beyond monsters, and as we know, Tainted currency is connected to Beyond monsters. So I have a feeling that if you run Ritual in a tainted Beyond area, or in a corrupted area, then you may have a possibility of getting a tainted ritual, which means that you may then get some tainted currency. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's currency that you can use to modify items that have been corrupted, i.e. tainted fusings, tainted chromes, tainted jewelers, all that type of stuff. Now, obviously, tainted jewelers won't be in the game because we're not going to have them types of jewelers, but I have a feeling that we'll still have the rest of them. We may have tainted whetstones and all of those good ones. So keep an eye out, guys. This is still going to be in the game. And next, we have some brand new unique items. So as you can see on screen here, Sands of the Silk is the one where obviously you would turn into dust. And obviously instead of rolling, that's the one that they showed in the live stream. However, what they didn't show in the live stream is this, the Couture of Crimson, which says on it there, Life Leech can overflow your maximum life. I have no idea what that means, but I'm assuming it's going to be similar to the Slayer. There is also the Quill Rain, which obviously we have seen before. He then goes on to show this brand new shield, as you can see on the right hand side, which kind of makes me think, what? Yeah, just you wait. The shield itself, if you can read there, you can block all damage, from all hits, but you cannot use shield skills. So does that mean that you can then block damage from spell damage, attack damage? What does that mean? Does that mean everything? And it does have a good chunk of armor on it as well in terms of the increased armor, which is local. So nice little unique tease there. Now the next thing is he does go through an entire Sanctum trial, or trial of the Sakima. Now I'm not going to play it on this because the video goes on for a good like 20 minutes, but if you want to see what you're in for, then I would gladly advise you to watch the video so you know what you're in for. He does go from start to finish. He does also do the same for the Ultimatum trials as well, so if you want to see what that's like from start to finish, so you know what you're in for and you can kind of decide which one you want to do on early access, then that's entirely up to you. Again, the video link is in the description below. He does also go through the entire Zest fight, which is the new Breach boss. I'm not going to spoil the entire fight here, but what I did do here is I have clipped the last 10 seconds for one particular reason, because something happened when he died, which kind of made me go, I'm sorry, excuse me, what? and I will show you here. So as soon as he dies, as you know, he drops all of his loot. However, one thing jumped out at me by an absolute mile. What is tier 3 gauntlets? Why are they marked as a tier? Is that some form of reason? Are we now getting tiers of items? That makes me think, is that connected because he is a higher ranking boss? I have no idea. Something to kind of keep in mind. The rest of the video, there are extra visuals in there. There is a part contained within the forge, which is connected to the, I think it's the boss at the end of Act 3. Looks very visually stunning with the lava there. There was also some footage for the bosses. There's a couple of bosses. There's the boss at the end of the Sakima, and there's the boss at the end of the Ultimatum. However, the main boss that I'm going to include, and I'm going to include it in this video, so this is your warning, spoiler warning, is I'm going to show you the Doriani fight. This is the one that looked like a big mech, like a big metal mech. Now, if you want to watch that, then I'm going to put it on in the next 10 seconds. So this is your warning. So if you want to leave now, thank you for watching. Stay sane. However, if you want to enjoy the fight and enjoy it in all of its glory, so you can kind of see what you're in for, then I will put it on now and enjoy.
So, on the eve of the end, the demon of Atzoatl has finally come for me! Kill it, dog! I bear the burden of our future! Pathetic! Justify the means. Let's see how you handle this. I can't give up. Not now. The cataclysm must be stopped. So you would take our devices and doom us? I think not. I will fight to the...
Listen, I'm just here for the lady. There's no need for all this.
I've got you now! Freeze! Please! Now! Are within my grasp! Activate the beams! Nothing can stand in my... I've got you now! Fatal ambition! This is not over yet!
there you have it, guys. That is the Doriani fight, and I cannot wait to fight it. The first time I watched that, I was like, I am definitely going to die quite a couple times in that. It will make you want to learn the boss mechanics, because I have a feeling that we potentially may come across him in the maps area of the end game. As he stated, you will only get one boss every 4 maps, and there is a possibility that we may get him as one of the bosses. So yeah. Anyway, that was basically it, guys. Thank you for watching. It took me the last couple of hours to compile all of this together, so I would appreciate any likes or any comments. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, guys, stay sane.